Hey guys, Maria Menounos here. Hope you tune into my show, Untold with Maria Menounos, this Thursday night at 8 on E!
You're tuning in to the online broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
All right, welcome to another episode of Dancing with the Stars here on AfterBuzz TV. Yeah, we've had an exciting night because it's the semifinals. Lots to talk about. I'm Kristyn Burtt. Sitting next to me, my friend Jake Dupree.
Hi, I'm Jake Dupree.
Across the table, Suri Serano.
Hello, guys.
Anna Trubin-Sky will be back next week. She is out of the studio today, but joining us, and I'm very excited about this. She did come on So You Think You Can Dance This Summer, and she's back here for Dancing with the Stars. Mandy Moore.
Oh, hello, hello.
Hi, we're so excited. Before we get started, quick, we just want to wish Kevin Undergaro a happy birthday.
Yay.
Our founders
Happy
of AfterBuzz
birthday.
TV. We certainly appreciate all of his work and hope he's having a good day. But let's talk about those semifinals tonight. We've got a lot that happened last night, but a lot going on. I think it's going to be a tough finale with 4 really good dancers.
I'm stoked about the finale. I mean, of course, I wish Tommy was there just because I think their freestyle would be amazing and
That's
like
what I said.
absurd. But this is going to be one of the best finales I think that's happened in a long time.
And I do feel with Alfonso's injury, it opens the door slightly to other people as well.
I think so too, guys. I don't know, because I think everyone was like, Alfonso, Alfonso, Alfonso. And now it's like, I don't know, there's some people coming up, so...
But I really agree with what Carrie Ann said last night, which is, you know, you always expect that the best answer doesn't always win.
Correct.
However, her comments and everything could lead you to, I mean, it could be a good comeback story, you know, at the end. Never injured and then, you know, pulling ahead.
Never know. But I think we were all sorry to see Tommy go. I did tweet out, I was like, call me crazy, but I really wanted to see that. I really want to see that freestyle. Come on.
They're probably.
I honestly,
I can guarantee you they're going to get like Snoop Dogg and like it's just going to be this whole like cannabis thing.
Big weed.
I've worked with multiple times, and he's a trip to work with. He's really fun.
I feel like that they would have done something like he would like slid on a big bong or something like crazy. Like
Just through the smoke and Snoop Dogg and Tommy.
Yeah.
You guys, I'm honestly okay with them going. It had to come to an end at some point, and who else was going to go?
Well, and that's exactly it. Someone asked me that, and I said, I don't want anyone to go. I just maybe want a finale with 5 people. I don't know. Maybe I'm being greedy.
Lucky number 5.
Wow, I've never heard you say that before.
I know. Well, I think it's exciting with the 4 because we're all looking at kind of neck and neck scores and levels and everything. And then Tommy was just there. He was the heart. He was so much fun this season.
He was. He really was. It's what the show's about. That's why we watch.
Exactly.
Totally.
We want the journey. I threw this out to Mandy before we went on air, and I was like, I have one question that I keep getting tweeted over and over and over and over and over, and I'm just going to throw it out there now. Does anyone else know what it is?
No.
No? Okay. Well, there are rumors out there that Mandy is helping one particular couple with their freestyle, and people are crying foul, saying it's not fair, and Mandy's like, I've got a great answer to this.
Yeah, well, this season, I'm a performance producer on the show, so every single one of the dancers every week gets advice from me in all of their numbers. So this is something that happens on the show. You know, very rarely does a dancer just like put themselves in a room and like create something without telling anyone on the show, and then it happens. You know, there's a lot of information that goes between all departments on the show. So I am not just helping one couple to the finals, everyone. I am actually giving lots of nuggets of information to everyone. So
Squash!
yes,
Sorry about
I am
it.
helping everyone.
And that's what we call an AfterBuzz exclusive.
There we go.
All right, well, let's get into the semifinals. Lots of fun dancing to talk about, and kicking off the night was Sadie and Mark and their quick step. I love that little duckling.
Me too.
She's good.
doesn't?
She is a doll. She's amazing. I thought the footwork was great. She just, every week, too, I feel like it's better and better and better. And Mark is killing it this season with his choreography. He's doing so well.
Yeah, we've said that over and over this season, just how we love how inspired he is. And, you know, Shirley was in here. We had Corky in here as well talking about it. But when you're also given constraints because, you know, she is someone that is standing by her faith and she wants to be a little bit more conservative, which I love that she has not wavered from that. And she's very comfortable with it. And so he goes, okay, I have, you know, these parameters.
Right. Yeah. I mean, for me, it's just so much fun to watch her, and she is actually really good. What he's throwing her. You know, there was even a section of, I mean, I don't have your knowledge, but there was a section of music for me as a dancer that she was going through where I thought was a little bit tricky with getting the right timing.
I know what you're talking about, yeah.
And I recognize that just because I didn't learn how to count growing up as a gymnast. We just don't count music.
No, it's true. You just go.
We just go.
Whenever you feel
This is your running music.
So
now flip.
I could hear. Sorry, gymnast. So I could hear it. I was like, oh, that's kind of hard if you don't really know what you're doing. And she handled it beautifully.
What do you think of their quick step?
I was really blown away with just by her top line. Her shoulders were so down, her neck looked so long, and like the way she looked. I was really happy that Mark went with the super traditional quick step. Like he didn't do anything like cuckoo crazy. I mean, I love his cuckoo crazy, but I was glad it was just like this. She can dance, and I'm glad they started off with this because I think the later one he kind of got his creative side, more creative side in. Yeah. But I'm so happy for her, and I cannot wait for their freestyle. I think it's going to be genius.
And I thought she did well with the confidence. You know, she was a little shaken after last week, but even though she got a full 10, she was
I was
fine.
surprised by the package, I guess. I thought that, like, I really thought it was going to be a bigger deal that, like, she was faltering and messed up last week, but you got all 10s. And you look amazing this week, so, okay, I don't know, maybe, you know.
Yeah, I saw the dance in studio, too, and I was like, I had to go back and watch on YouTube. I didn't see it either, so.
Shirley gave me a little bit of an inside scoop that I cannot reveal about the freestyle, but it is really good.
Well, thanks for teasing us and not giving us any information.
Yeah. Mandy probably knows a little bit about it,
I also cannot tell you, but it's going to be great.
Yes, sorry.
It will be well worth the watch.
I'll tell you guys.
Great, because now we're going to get YouTube comments. Suri, why didn't you say anything? Exactly.
Because it has to be a surprise.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they got a big surprise coming.
Yes.
9, 10, 9, 9. Hey, it was Len that gave her the 10.
I was happy about that.
10?
But he's like the super technical judge, and she gave them a technical dance, so give it to
It
him.
makes him happy. 37 was their score. Then we go to Tommy and Peta doing jazz. And I got a lot of tweets that it looked like Tanisha and Rudy in their outfit from So You Think You Can Dance season 11.
Yes. The outfit was very similar.
The outfit was with the cat suit and Rudy had on the hat. They were like, look, it's Tanisha and Rudy. And I was like, okay, there you go.
Here's the deal. If you have Jazz and you have Tommy, what are you gonna do? I mean, he is awesome, and I love that guy, and he came a long way in this season. But Jazz is all about sharp dynamics and lines and traveling and being athletic. That's not Tommy. So, you know, I think that they did a good job in this routine, especially I think Peta really crafted a good routine. It was entertaining, and yes, it did look very much that unitard looked a lot like Tanisha's unitard.
Yeah, maybe not the same, you know, Tommy didn't do the same extension as Tanisha or anything.
Or Rudy.
No.
Or Rudy, no. But yeah, I think for all of us, we've just talked about not only Tommy's journey, but what Peta's gone through this season and how open she's been, even emotionally, that we haven't seen. And it's been, I mean, I just applaud her because it's just been really fun to watch.
Yeah, I don't think she could have asked for a better season.
Yep.
No.
Really?
I know, and when you get handed that contestant, you're like, 76 years old, what am I going to do? But that's the challenge for the choreographer and for the pro. And she
really has stepped up to the challenge. And I like that she gave him stuff in hold because I think that's when he's best, is when he's like with her. And I loved it. I thought this was a really cute number, and the whole like smacking her butt and stuff. I'm like, that's his fans who's voting for him. That's what they want to see, is like him being flirty and silly with her. So it was cute.
Even the little moment where they were like side by side and they did the little arms and they ran towards the corner and did the little up. Like, it was so good.
Yeah. So cute.
He's 76. Like, come on.
Yeah,
we should all
give it to
aspire
him.
to be that flexible and limber at 76 because
For real.
it gets harder every year.
It really does.
Yes.
Well said,
And I am
Kristyn.
not 76, so they got all 7s for a total of 28.
I think there should have been at least an 8.
I
coulda given him
Something.
Come on, Len.
Or Julianne or Bruno or something. I don't know.
Well, Len was like, you're 6 years older than me. Like, you know, he's like, I understand. This is hard.
Yeah, but I get what you guys are saying. I could have gone with an 8 or 2, but like I don't entirely disagree because there just wasn't much, there's not much
there wasn't-
there.
I get
it's
it.
the semifinals, guys.
Okay. Right.
Just 1-8 though. I'm like,
No, I would go
1-8.
with that.
Give him 1-8.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, give him. He's going home. Producers knew he was going home. Let's give him an 8.
Okay. All right, I'm with you on that one.
On that one, just that one. We're going on to Bethany and Derek doing the samba, and this girl. This is another person with a journey because we were like, we get her on YouTube, we don't get her on the dance floor, and it's just every week it's like another step up, which has been fantastic. Sorry.
So good. I mean, everybody knows that follows us that for the first, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 weeks, I was not her fan. I was a little worried that my boy Derek wasn't going to make it to the end this year.
Yeah.
But wow, she's now one of my front runners. Which, hats off to Derek and to her as well. Because she's like a different person to me watching her.
Yeah, Mandy, can you talk a little bit about what you've seen over the season with her because she's so mature already?
Yeah, I think I was with you at the beginning because my first interaction with her, I was like, wow, I don't know where she's at. Like, I can't tell if she's excited to be here, like what's going on, or if this is just over her head or what. But then I also knew that Derek, like, you're gonna get on the Derek train or not. Like, Derek will make this happen for you. And in the process, I think she really has evolved. Like, I think it's opened her up into things that she maybe didn't understand, or she's in a brand new world as a non-dancer coming into this, and someone who's very successful in a social media. The outlet is maybe not necessarily that great on the dance floor or coordinated, but she had Derek, and that is recipe for awesomeness because he knows how to coach, he knows how to get people to where they need to be.
Yeah. What do you think?
This number, it wasn't my favorite that I've seen of theirs so far.
It was cute. Okay.
It was cute. It was cute. I just thought that I wanted to see. They were on the bench for too long for me at the very beginning. I was like, let's just move. And then when they started moving, I was like, okay, there's the thing. They went back to the bench, and I thought it was cute, like just having the partner there with like Sasha. But for me, it was like the second dance is where it was at with for me.
Okay, Len. Len called him out about the bench too.
Yeah, but I really like the beginning and the ending of this number.
I did too.
I mean, it was cute, and trust me, I'm like Derek's biggest fan. But it's like this was not my favorite of theirs.
I get, as a whole, I agree with you.
Yeah.
But on this number, I think you saw a lot of confidence from her. That there was, and even when we were in dress rehearsal, Derek was like practicing with her over and over, and like really working on the dynamics. And then to see her do that in the live show, because sometimes she can be a little gray in those dynamics for me. Like that's a very dancer thing to say, but it doesn't always feel like it pops for me from her. But this number, in those ways, popped for me.
That's interesting, and it's one of those things that we've seen. It's been such a slow progression with her, but it's been the right progression, and that's what's so funny. It's like the slower start, but then it's like slow
She
and
hits at the
steady
right
wins
moment.
the race. I mean, it's entirely possible, and she's got the fan base to get her there on that side too. What happens with the freestyle and the judges, we don't know yet. All 9s for them for a total of 36.
I thought it was fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I do have to say that I love that like Derek had his creative block, and I'm like, yeah, we should all lack in that creativity.
I know.
You're like, such Derek.
let me just pull out this-
Not creative this week.
Do you get that too?
Yeah, but I'm not sure that my creative block is like that.
don't
I mean,
even.
like, Derek, come
Don't
on.
even.
You're also an Emmy nominee yourself.
That's true. But yes, we all, as creative people, like that happens in anything in life. It doesn't always flow. So you gotta figure it out though, because there's a show. So.
And it's coming up fast. That's what it always does. Janelle and Val doing the paso. I'm going to start with you.
I am blown away by her. She came out, because that whole moment where they have to go from the upper stage down onto the floor, and then she literally comes out firing like a cannon.
Yes.
And doesn't miss a beat. I'm like, she owned that entire thing. He was her puppet like the entire dance. That was fantastic. I think that she is who everybody else needs to watch out for, because they are really coming, like really going.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's good. What's your face? Don't. What is that?
This is good.
I know.
Sorry. What is that?
You guys know me too well. I feel like I'm going to be in the minority, and I'm okay with that. Look, Val, it's his time. He's shining. He's amazing. I love his work. I love it. And she's doing fantastic.
But-
However, I don't enjoy her.
Are you not connecting with her now?
I'm not connecting with her.
Is she your new Bethany?
She's my new Bethany. And she's great. But I'm not, like, I can't stop watching her feet and her knees. I don't know. I don't know what it is, you guys. And I knew that I'm probably going to get slammed for it. But because, I mean, how can I disagree? I mean, she killed it.
Yeah.
She killed it. I just don't, it's just not, I don't know. It's not working for me.
Is it in the packages you feel like you're not connecting to her? Or is it really more physically
A part
in
of
the
the dance.
dancing? Like what, or does it both?
Good question.
Maybe,
Good question. It's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of package. Like I feel her a little bit, and then it's a little bit. She doesn't do full extensions, by the way. Her knees
And her feet aren't the best,
And no,
but-
that's a little bit. It's a little bit. But also, Val's so strong, he can cover up with a little partner sometimes, like little things. You know, he's so. Like with all of his past partners, but I'm sorry. It was good. It was great. I definitely enjoyed it, but there's other people I like better.
Yeah, I just appreciate, because I think that we've seen a progression in terms of her personality, because I thought at the very beginning it was very, like, showboaty, like, all the time, like, oh, whoa, whoa, like, all the time.
Theater kid. She was theater kid.
Theater juice, but it was just like, I don't know, I feel like we're seeing who she is as a person outside of the studio and who she is with Val on a private level. And I think that she's come into her own and shown dynamics in terms of personality, and what she delivers on the floor is dynamic, I think.
She seems super sweet and super likable and cute. From the waist up, I enjoy her. It's from the waist down that I kind of struggle.
It's been called out by the judges a little bit, but I feel like the last couple weeks have been a really nice progression for her, and I'm seeing that confidence out there on the dance floor. And it's like Bethany also. Janelle has been another one that's like,
Slow burn.
and it's been great, and it's been smart. And Val has also paced her very well, and you know, and she's been able to handle a lot. But I mean, I think I look at Janelle, and sometimes her knees are bent, and sometimes her foot is sickled. I see that with Bethany though too, and they're non-dancers essentially, so you have to sit there and go, okay, those moments are going to happen. Hopefully, they get cleaned up more and more as we move towards the finale. But I mean, what are you seeing with Janelle?
I guess I see what you're saying, but I'm a fan of that. I mean, I love Val too, so I'm trying to think between Bethany and Janelle that Derek's movement to me is like a lot crisper and cleaner and very so maybe you're seeing sharper things from Bethany, whereas Janelle and Val, I feel like he just comes from like passion and go and make it happen, and so I think they're different styles, but they're also different emotions coming out of the coupling. Bethany and Derek's relationship, I think, is very different than Val and Janelle's, obviously. So I loved the pause. So for once, I feel like somebody did a kick butt moment on the swell of the music, and I loved that when they came down. It was like and they were flying across the floor. I love that because sometimes the music swells and nobody does anything. I'm like, what are you doing? That the music is flying right there.
Musicality, folks.
Yes, So I thought it was really good. I can understand where you're coming from, but I am also a Janelle Val fan.
Yeah, I was too, and the judges were really happy with that. They gave them all 10s. So
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that is pretty awesome.
I think that the judges are kind of edging a little bit. They're being like, "Hey, what's up?" Like these two are Alfonso and Val and whatever. So we'll
because people go into the finale going like, "Oh
who am I gonna choose?
Who's gonna win?"
Yeah.
I do feel that though. I mean, I feel like last season we knew it was going to be Meryl. It was going to be no question about that. And I mean, other seasons I feel
we're usually we kind of know who the final two are going to be. And who probably will get it.
And even though I loved Amy last season, I mean, it was Max and Meryl's season. Yeah. So, I mean, I sit there and think, when was the last time we were really surprised?
Yeah.
But, whoa, hold.
What?
You and I, season 15.
Oh my gosh, of course. All-Star season.
Because this is what I was going to bring up too. Val's never won. So, on the producing side, for me, there's some partial there. You know what I mean?
But Whitney's never won.
No, exactly. I'm saying but Derek has, so I don't know if he's going to win this year.
And he's won
because he's already
3
won.
consecutives too.
Right.
He's like, that's my mirror ball, that's my mirror ball, that's my mirror ball, and that's my mirror ball.
He's got a mirror ball house. He doesn't even have a room anymore. Well, Well, we do have a producer with us. No. Are you guys already finagling like who's
I
going to
will never
win?
say anything outside of those four walls.
Exactly. It's in the CBS studios. Let's go on to Whitney and Alfonso. They had the Argentine tango, and Alfonso's back injury. I mean, he's in pain. You could physically see it on his face, in its movement, in his body.
It wasn't fully him.
Yeah. It was rigid, and if any, I mean, I've had a back injury. I mean, if anyone's never had a back injury, you need your back to sit, stand, lay down.
Yeah.
I mean, walk.
It's so hard.
There's no rest
as a performer to perform and dance when you're injured. We all know that. I think we all know what it's like. And I was so happy the judges didn't crush him for that, for not living up to his potential, and actually acknowledged, wow, dude, we can tell that, you can see that he's in pain and he was pushing through, and it was awesome.
You never know when people are faking, and I think after looking last night, you're like, yeah, he's not faking. And actually, sadly enough, it affects Whitney, too, so much. Like, you really understand in the ballroom world how important partnering is. Because I feel like she wasn't even able to, like, fully execute her moments because he wasn't there to be able to fully partner her in those moments. Right. So then it affects her as well. Like, she can't just be, like, twirling around him doing whatever. She needs support, and I think that definitely showed last night.
And I think the two of them have become almost like family with each other, and I think that she, is reading that energy as well. It wasn't my favorite of theirs, but it also wasn't my least favorite of theirs. You know what I'm saying?
But her outfit was gorgeous.
I mean,
and her hair.
she is a star.
When she came out, I'm like, well, that's amazing.
That gold, that was like boom, boom. Yeah.
It was like boom, boom. Oh my God, Jake. I mean, it wasn't my favorite either, but only because we know what
he's capable of.
What we're capable of watching.
And that's awesome that we get to have that moment with him to be like, he's so awesome.
Yeah.
And then, like, we actually have something to compare it to.
Yeah.
It's not like that's good for him, So
It made me think, like, his back injury is, like, bad enough that, we could see the pain, but it's not bad enough because, Wild
he doesn't
Horse,
kill the dance,
Well, that he got medical clearance. Like, that's the other, if it was bad enough and they knew he was not going to be able to walk if he danced on that floor, like, they wouldn't send him out there on the floor. So he's probably walking that sort of, like, little gray area, and he has to be careful moving into the finale because you're like, I'm gotten this far. He's wanted to do this show so much. He's so good. I know, it's that mentality of like, I have to make it to the end.
And I think he will.
We'll see.
I mean, the thing with, I don't know
He's
everything
hurt.
that's going on, but like nerve stuff I've had, and it takes weeks to heal. It's not a week. It doesn't take a week. You know what I mean?
Yeah, back injuries are a long time.
Yeah, it's hard. It's tough.
I'd love to ask you about Whitney since you've known her since season 9.
little
So
Whitney.
you think you can dance? I mean, it's got to be fun seeing, Whitney and Lindsay and Jenna from season 10 just sort of grow up and wind up on Dancing with the Stars.
I feel like Whitney's come a long way too, even just the 2 seasons she's been pro. It's 2 seasons, right?
2 seasons, yep.
I mean, of course, you learn a lot when you're on troupe because you learn so much about just like how the show works. People are throwing things at you like you have to choreograph this right now and you have 2 minutes, and so I think they all learned a lot. But Whitney has come a long way this season, and I think it helped that she had Alfonso because he's like, all right, I'm in this to win this, and so she had to step up. But I love Whitney, and of course, Lindsay looks amazing this season
Those legs.
Oh my gosh! In the Jessie J number, there was a shot of her, and I mean, I've known her. I've known Lindsay since she was like 6. So there was a shot of her. I was like, who is that? That's Lindsay. Like, I had she has just become so beautiful and such a nice young woman. And of course, Jenna, incredible, one of my favorites. She helps me out a lot on the show. So.
Yeah, she mentioned that.
Yeah.
She said I love working with Mandy. So
I'm usually calling my little Jenna Lou to help me out with the ballroom stuff. So.
When we had Shirley Ballas here, she was saying, she's seen a lot of really nice growth with Lindsay. Even she's like, don't forget about her just because she's in troupe or anything. Like, she is like grown by leaps and bounds. So
I agree. She's finding her cameras. She's like knows how to hold herself and when to be right and when to do the thing and boom, she's learning.
I love that. We talk all about cameras because we had 1 week. When was that? Like 2 weeks ago. We were like, Whitney knows her cameras.
And Jenna does too.
Jenna does too.
Jenna comes correct when it comes to the camera.
It's all part of it. Like, we all have to tell them. We're like, we have to tell them what cameras to look at. So it's like they're like spinning over here and then they'll like find a camera over here. Like, oh my God, they just looked at us. Like, but it's an art. Like, it's really hard to do that when you're dancing, and I think they've all learned how important it is.
Stop on a dime. Look.
I know.
How do you have any influence on like who from So You Think You Can Dance might make it into troupe or anything? Do you offer? No, they just kind of cast.
Yeah, I'm not a part of any of that process at all. Mostly just the performance stuff. So
interesting. I didn't know if we had the inside track if we would see like
because
Tanisha
Brooklyn was on that a few weeks ago.
We've seen
Brooklyn
Brittany
for Pipple. Yeah,
and
Brittany Cherry. Yep.
Yep.
We've seen a lot
She's
of people.
great. I love both of them.
Adorable.
They're both beautiful.
They were good.
They are. Whitney and Alfonso, all 9s on that for a total of 36. I mean, what can you do? I don't know. I feel so bad for him. It makes me worry. Is he like limping off the floor too?
A little bit.
A little bit.
I mean, he just looks like he's moving slowly. Yeah.
Yeah. Very tender. That's not good.
Oh, that sucks.
Swipe left. Swipe left. Tinder joke. Anyone? Anyone? No?
Swipe left.
We're like, what? All right, before we move into the second dances, we just want to remind everyone, thank you for downloading us on iTunes. And if you want to rate us, give us 5 stars. We love that. Yeah, or 10 stars, as Mandy just said. And thanks for all your comments on YouTube and Twitter as well. Let's move into our second set of dances. We go back to Sadie and Mark, and they had the Argentine tango. What did we think of this one?
I liked it. I really did. I thought that some of her leg work was beautiful. And even though she had those little kitten heels, which I hate a little bit. Kitten heel, gross. Whoa.
They're not good in real life.
But that leg out to the... I mean, she had some really good leg action. I thought the guitar got in the way a little bit of them, like, really being able to move. But I like that he went in a creative route with it. I don't know.
You're all Len tonight. Like
Yeah,
Len said the
I
same
am a
thing.
little Len tonight.
Yeah, Len thought
I
about
loved
that.
it, you guys. I gotta be honest, I watched it back again right before I got here just to make sure that I really loved it. And I think because I liked the creativity and then he went there and tried something, and I do feel like that guitar holding helped her posture. Ooh. And that's why I thought it was brilliant, because I think she was forced to hold her body in the right way. Were there a couple little bobbles? Did it look? Yes. But it was brilliant that he had her do that, because I think without it, she might have got a little slumpy in the posture, and then that's not that style.
And she's a little taller than him too, so
Yes.
that's probably the kitten heel.
Yeah.
So he probably has to watch all of that. So that's because you know when you're tall too and you're growing, you're like, I'm 5'3". When was I ever tall?
I know.
Never.
Thank
You know,
you.
you're tall.
I know. I'm tall.
Yeah, I'm like when I was growing to 5'3".
Especially when I'm dating guys and they're like shorter. I'm like, hey, we'll take a photo with you. Yeah.
Why do girls do that? We need to own our
I know,
height.
exactly. You know.
Yeah.
All 5'3".
He should be secure with himself to just, like, allow you to
I love
stand
being
that
tall.
way.
Thank you. I'm glad I'm tall. This was my favorite number of the night.
Oh,
My favorite number of the
Ooh.
night. I completely agree with Mandy. And first of all, her emotion from the get-go, as soon as it started, I was like in it. I was like, oh, she's like there. And I love the guitar and the creativity. I love what Mark's doing. And I was in it. I thought it was absolutely beautiful. Favorite, hands down, of the night.
Wow.
I liked that they had all the little packages of like the getting to know you and stuff, so you get a little bit more background on all of that. And I love that her mom was like, I didn't think we were going to be here. Like I thought her dad was going to be like, no. But her natural movement quality is kind of amazing to me. Mm-hmm. For someone that's not allowed to dance at school, and she basically dances in her bedroom, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's over. That's over. Her like meeting. She's going to continue doing.
my
dancing
boyfriend
and
said
all
last
sorts of
night,
things.
he was like, ABC, Disney Channel, like
Yeah.
she's got a show. Like
Yeah,
she's
for
got,
sure.
I mean, star quality written all over
It's
her.
like a Hannah Montana moment, kind of, like, really funny and kitschy and...
That face
there.
on camera, you just like her little dimples are so great.
Yeah, I mean, I said last week when I was in studio, I could not take my eyes off of her. Like every time she was just like walking across the floor, I was like, what is that? Like when you just have it, she's got it, whatever that is. So 9, 9, 10, 9 for a total of 37. See, this
very
is,
fair.
yeah, when you look at this, when you look at like Sadie's scores and Bethany's scores and Janelle's scores and Alfonso's scores, like they're all neck and neck.
Yeah, everybody's tight. It's going to be interesting.
I love that, though. I think that's going to be really fun
You know,
for next week.
we always talk about, like, the episode before, we're always like, it's not over till that we see that freestyle, because a lot of America just votes on freestyle. They forget whatever happened the prior 10 weeks.
That's why they're all so stressed about freestyle. Yeah, they're all like, oh my God, it has to do with the freestyle. If we don't have a good freestyle, it's never going to happen. You know, you're like, whoa. Like, but it's true. I guess everyone just forgets about the entire season, kind of, and then they're like, put it all into that one dance, you know?
Yeah, and that sometimes clinches that Mirrorball trophy. Or you're stressful. And Mandy is helping everyone, you guys.
Everyone.
Just re-emphasizing that. Okay.
Yes.
Tommy and Peta doing the rumba. I mean, this piece was to die for. This really was to die for. I thought, well, like a wonderful way for them to go out. It was so unique and so different. Tell me what you thought.
It was just like the perfect punctuation for their sentence on the show. Like, really, that's what it was. I just thought it was a lovely celebration of the two of them. His arms, his hips, I thought they were better than they've been in a long time. I just like seeing the two of them get together and just do their thing and just be in their little bubble dancing. It's beautiful. I'm so happy about them.
Sorry.
It was sweet seeing all the judges break down. Almost all of them.
Yeah.
Who didn't cry? Len?
The boys weren't crying.
Len and
The
Bruno.
girls were crying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was sweet. I mean, it was what a way to go out. They had an incredible season, and I loved watching it. I don't have much more to add than that. I agree with you, Jake. So
I didn't like it when I saw it not on camera. And I think it's because I was sitting on the side during the dress rehearsal, so I don't think I fully understood what was happening. But then when I went home and watched it, I understood what everybody was seeing. And his face, I think for me, it was just his acting and his commitment to the moment. I love Peta. She's a beautiful dancer, one of my favorite dancers. But for me, it was him like really trying to tell that story and their little moment together. But I definitely agree. But I did not agree when I saw it in dress rehearsal.
Interesting. Which side were you on? You were in the left or the right-hand side of
I was
the
right
stage?
behind the judges. I usually just kind of sit back there and I kind of work while everything's happening. And I didn't watch the monitor on that one. I just was watching it live. And sometimes, it doesn't translate the same, you know?
Yeah, especially if you choreograph for the camera on something like that. And that does happen, when you see something like you're in studio and then you go home and you're like...
it's a different feel.
It's such a different feel.
Yeah.
I always, when I'm on the Oscars red carpet, you'll see a dress and you're like, that was the most amazing dress. And then you see it on camera and you're like, whoa,
No,
that
wasn't that cute.
that was not cute at all.
I've told you from past seasons, and seeing the costumes in person at Dancing with the Stars is a whole nother level. They're amazing costumes, but even in person, you're like,
Yeah, I mean, they're next level. Like, they're totally amazing on camera, and then you see them in person, you realize the detailing on them.
They do an incredible job, that entire department.
I mean, have they won the Emmy
incredible.
every single year for it? I mean, or have they haven't? Like, what's going on?
I don't think that, I don't know why. It's
know,
amazing,
really.
what they do.
And in the amount of time that they're doing it. Like, that's the other thing we need to qualify, because they're cranking this out in less than
week after week. They're doing it, with very little pre. So like they're figuring it out right before.
Wow.
That's amazing. That is amazing. Well, here's where Tommy got some 9s and some 8s. It was 9-8, 9-8 for a total of 34, kind of his best score. And
I'm so happy they went out on that.
I think
good.
they knew they were going home too. Like, I felt like their actions all night just kind of had that, like, this was a great run. We're not moving on.
I think Peta said she knew it too when they were eliminated.
Yeah, I think
you could hear it.
in most cases, I always feel like most pros are like, we know this was our week. Every once in a while, there really wasn't a huge surprise.
this season.
Yeah. I mean, I even felt last week, I kind of felt like Leah was done. I wasn't that surprised when Tommy went beyond her. Not that I didn't love her or anything, but I was like, I felt
It seemed like her moment.
her moment, and I think just some of the confidence issues she had on and off, just the audience starts to read it and then they stop voting, and I hate that. True. Because you want to root for them. You're like, I want you to be your best. All right, Bethany and Derek doing contemporary. A little move live here. How many little frame? Anyone else see move live in the little frame?
Yep. What did you think?
I love Derek, and I already told you what I think about Bethany. And this style, I think, works for her not always being so sharp. I wanted her to have more full capacity to the movement. I guess, like, if this is the move, I felt like she was that big. So for me, I wanted that. That takes years to create. And so that's why I think sometimes on contemporary on the show, it's hard. Like, I don't know. I mean, we have a hard enough time on So You Think with people that can even be contemporary dancers. So to do that in such a short amount of time, I applaud the effort. Her feet and her legs and the way she held herself is not the way a contemporary dancer does that. The routine was well crafted. It was shot well. Derek looks amazing when he does it. But, when I'm seeing, and this is my world as contemporary, so of course I'm going to be hardest on that, you know. I think it's just hard when I'm sure ballroom dancers feel the same way when they watch someone who doesn't, on So You Think, when they're watching like a clogger do a cha-cha, they're like, oh God, that's not even like close, But I thought the emotion, they don't have a lot of, I don't feel like they necessarily create a lot of chemistry together in the like love duet thing. So, you know,
brother,
it was a
sister.
it was a little kind of like, I'm just going to kind of live in this world with you and we're going to coexist together. So I didn't feel a lot of passion, but I know that wasn't what that number was about. You know, but I applaud the effort for sure. And I don't think it was bad by any means. You know, that's hard to do.
Do you think, because the frame concept is really cool, we did see it on Derek's tour this summer, but did it constrain Bethany too much in the movement? Because sometimes in contemporary I want to see a little more movement.
But I think that's what was brilliant about it.
That's what I was about to say.
That's what was brilliant.
Because it gave all of her extremities something to do.
Yeah.
Instead of just worrying about like all the reaches. And I've been noticing they've been doing a lot of like the reachy thing for her. I think that's maybe something she's been focusing on too. And I'm kind of, not that I'm tired of it, but I kind of am. I'm just like, okay, we got it. Like she can do it now, so let's move on. But this dance, I thought it was really, really lovely. I thought the transition with the frames, like all those transitions between all the different movements was gorgeous.
Very smooth.
Yeah, it
Very
was
smooth.
seamless. And I think it was an interesting moment for her to do contemporary. I thought
she
did
didn't
well.
have it on the show yet, right? Like that was the first time. I just want to make sure that.
So I really thought that they did a really great job. But I was watching him more than anything, I guess, during that whole number.
Well, he's shirtless and
Ding dong hello.
Ding dong, hello. God, I love you, Jake. I love the points that you made. For sure, I wasn't even thinking in that regard, and that was like awesome. It was right on. Jake, I agree with you too. I love the emotion I'm getting from her. For me, that's
something.
It's so different from what we were, not receiving in the beginning. And as a whole, I loved the number. It wasn't my favorite of the night, but it was definitely well produced, well crafted, as Mandy said. And I really enjoyed it. I was smiling the whole time.
It's one of the most interesting contemporary things that I've seen on the show, I think. Because some of the contemporary moments, I'm like, I don't know. I feel like they sometimes need a little bit more help in terms of, because it's not their specialty. So
it's hard, yeah.
I thought this was a really well-crafted contemporary moment for the show.
I love the white frame. It was smart. Yeah. Like you watched the frame and then you watched their bodies in it.
Yeah, it was good.
One thing I want to mention, her package, they talked a lot about the bullying and like how affected her parents were by this. When we had Corky on, he goes, I think like she's really been affected by the bullying and everything, and he's like, she's protecting herself, and maybe that's why she was so slow to like shed all the layers. And I always harken back to when we had Corky here, because I'm like, he kind of was spot on with that.
It is spot on, because I've gone through the same process in my life, in obviously in my own way. But yeah, it is right on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think
it takes time.
It takes time, and I think it's amazing what she's doing for other young girls and empowering them, because social media is mean, y'all.
Not just social media.
But it's
at this day and age,
day and age.
Yes,
We're older than just a playground, Suri.
I love though that dance is doing that for her. That's what I think is really cool, is that we're getting to see this journey, but it's through dance and through being physical and communicating with bodies in space that I think she is opening up and finding that confidence. So, yay dance.
Yeah, dance for that.
Wait, did that for me too, by the way. Yay dance.
Right?
Gymnastics and dance.
Yeah, it's so great. And she's 19. And my boyfriend, he watches with me like who's that again? Wait, what? But he's like, she's 19. He goes, she is so mature, and just the way she carries herself and everything else, it's very impressive. So, hands down to that. All 10s on that. 40 score. There you go. Janelle and Val, they did the Argentine tango. And this one was kind of controversial. I heard from a lot of Janelle and Val fans upset with what the judges had to say. And then I heard people that are probably rooting for Derek and Bethany, like, why are they getting high scores? So tell me what you think.
I liked it. I really did. I thought that she is actually in the floor, because I felt like I said before, she's like a feather when she moves. Like it's just like he's just kind of like dusting her around, and she kind of spins around just like a little whirling dervish a little bit. But I thought this was super special, and I just like their chemistry. I think that she has come such a long way and is showing who she is as a person, and I think it's through dance too that she's been able to really express that. And I'm just happy that she's at that point going into the finals.
Sorry.
I agree with you. I'm not going to disagree with that at all. But I was really happy Carrie Ann said what she said, because I was thinking the same thing the whole routine about her bent legs and feet. I couldn't stop. I was like,
That replay that they did, it was, I mean, because it was slow motion too, it was pretty apparent on that. It was a difficult lift though, also.
Yeah, I'm not,
And it was
great.
But I'm just saying, it's one of those things that I didn't necessarily notice it in the moment, but then when you saw the playback, you're like, okay, some things to work on for the finale, which I think is a good note.
Yes, but I agreed with Carrie Ann.
I think it's hard when you're putting together the routine as a choreographer because you have such a short amount of time to get so many things in, you know? So I think it looked like Val was trying to put in a lot of stuff because it's the semifinals, which he was, and she looked amazing on a lot of it. I wanted like 15 more seconds of the routine to see more footwork. You know, like I didn't want to lose. I didn't have a problem with lifts because I like lifts, but whatever. I mean, yes, I think we could debate that all the time. Does Tommy straighten his knees? They're not dancers. So I feel like sometimes on the show I gotta let that go, even though I'm with you. I'm like, point your feet. But
I get on the sickled foot. I'm the sickled foot police. It drives me bananas.
But I wanted a little bit more footwork because I think that she was in the ground and she was ready to do some of that. But I think in the interest of time, he was like, okay, what's the most bang for my buck? You know, like how am I gonna get this to be memorable? And he's smart. I mean, he put big things in that people will talk about. So
And it was such a really, really short dance. It really was.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted more.
like another 10 seconds to just see like a little bit of footwork and then it's like, you know.
And you know what's interesting, because all of us have been, you know, either professionally danced, worked, trained as dancers, whatever it is, we know what to look for technically. But if you have to remember, like the average person that's watching, maybe they don't have any dance, they just like it, they're going to notice a big trick more than they're going to notice
you hear the
tighter
audience
footwork.
and you hear the audience's reaction to that.
I will say my favorite shot of the night from the director was in that routine when you went past her to him playing, and then it went his point of view, and you saw her standing there, and she stood there like a little long, where you were kind of like, dance? What are you gonna do? What's going on? But it created this kind of like, oh, what's gonna happen? And then he like walked in the frame, and like, oh, Val's here, and he's gonna save the day, you know, like, it was a really beautiful shot.
It was.
I'm going to play the violin and save the day.
I love your description of it.
I know. Or he's but he was a little upset because he didn't kind of shank that last note, but he's a perfectionist. He was like, why did I do
He was
that?
like, I haven't played since I was, what, 14, 17? And I was like, I played the flute for like a week, so I mean, in fourth
Of course
grade.
you played the flute.
For
I'm
like
not
a week.
surprised.
It's a dainty little.
I played the drums. That's
amazing.
That is like us in a nutshell.
That totally is.
The flute and the drums.
Yep. And I wore a dress every day to school all the way through
I
fourth
never
grade.
would wear a dress.
In a nutshell.
Here's us. This is us.
So what did we think about scoring 9, 9, 10, 10 on that? I mean, was it a 10? Was 9 more in line? I mean, here we're really fighting over like 1 point, which is no big deal, but
I think it was fair.
yeah.
It was fair.
Yeah.
I mean, if
so
you're
too.
going to give some of those other numbers a 10, then I think that deserved a 10.
Yeah, there you go.
In my mind, I don't know.
It's just so interesting because it's like this was the one particular dance that fans were really like divided
Up in
about.
arms
Up
about,
in arms
yeah.
about, up in arms about scoring, what the judges said and everything else. So, Alfonso and Whitney doing contemporary. When it was like, oh gosh, it's contemporary, all I thought was like,
Me too. I was like, recipe for disaster.
Oh no, he's hurt, and then like, oh god, you can't have. You have to have a back.
I know.
You have to have a back for
No liquid
contemporary.
spine. No liquid spine on this one. No liquid spine. No.
poor guy.
Well, I mean, I think this was another one I watched in dress, and I was like, oh, no. But then I watched it in the show, and I don't know, maybe because I was watching it in dress live, you know, and then with the camera angles, and I do think maybe Whitney watched it back and really softened herself, too, because I feel like in dress I didn't sense that from her. And when I saw it in the show, I felt like a vulnerability about her, also matched with a power from her. He, yes, had a hard time. I mean, but it didn't. He was trying, so I kind of couldn't fault it. Like he was really going for like those reaches and the feeling and the running, and you know, I can't critique that necessarily, but
He wasn't going to quit.
no, that's the thing. You're like,
So
okay.
amazing. I mean, you really have to applaud that because you know he's probably like hopped up on whatever painkiller he could do without and still dance.
Right, and not be like an idiot on stage. Like I don't know what I'm
You
doing.
can't be taking 16 Valium and going out there. So, I mean, yeah, I'm sure when he got home, he was like, Valium, maybe a shot of vodka, and called it a night because I would have. I mean, that's a lot. That's really hard.
It was hard to watch, and not because it was bad, just because I know what that feels like, and it's so hard, and you just and emotionally it's hard on you. you know, to go through everything and not to be at your best, where you can give everything that you know you can give.
And you're in the
hard.
semifinals too. And I, like I said, I think I tweeted out, I'm like, you know, it would take a stampede of rhinoceros to keep him from not dancing. I mean, the only thing that was going to be if there was like the ABC doctors like, no. That was the only thing that was going to keep him off there.
It would just made me upset because some of those reaches and things he couldn't completely fully extend. And I was like, oh, I just want him to like really move. Yeah. But I was so happy that Whitney, again, I thought that it was a really tender moment for her. And I also am really proud of her because this choreography was very mature. And I think she has come such a long way in terms, I mean, she's always been an amazing dancer, but I feel like she is just, there's just something about her that's special. Like, it's what Julianne kind of had when she first started this show. Like, she's one to really watch. And my parents even, like, they never watched So You Think You Can Dance, but they see her on here, and they're just blown away by her. They're like, she is so beautiful, and you just can't help but watch her. And I'm like, this is true. Like, this is who she is. And I'm really, I hope she wins. I really kind of do, because I think that she's a star, and I want her to get all the attention that she possibly deserves.
I know, it's been nice. And, you know, we always forget, like, there is a learning curve to being a pro. Even if you're coming from troupe, it's hard, you know, finding that rhythm and that balance. And it's a new contestant every season. And one contestant can be really easy and one can be a challenge. And you never know what you're going to get. So you have to be adaptable to all of that.
And I think the Drew Carey challenge last season for her was the one that kind of helped really shape her for this season.
She did an amazing job on that number.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
Yeah, and I think, was it last week or the week before, we talked about, I actually like her with a little bit older of a contestant than, say, a Cody Simpson who's young. And
I don't want to completely change the subject, but I really want to ask Mandy about what, you know, like how it was having Allison, who came from, you know, and not in first time being a pro.
Yeah,
I love Allie. I mean, she is an animal, that girl.
No one can outdance her.
You can't help but watch her, too.
I know. And
superstar.
I feel like she killed it this season. I mean, I think that was a tall order to ask her to come in, and I do think that she got railed a couple times, but she will come back better than ever, guaranteed, because she is amazing. If she comes back, I don't even know if she's coming back, so nobody stress about it. I don't know what's happening.
Don't start a rumor.
Yeah, but I love her.
Yeah, we felt like she is, because she's someone that wears her heart on her sleeve. Like, sometimes I was like, oh, that hurts me. Some of the comments from the judges and things like that, because sometimes I felt it was a little.
We could see it in her face.
Yeah, I felt like it was a little personal from time to time. But you know, she handles it very well, and she's always very positive, always. So
I know we got several comments on the YouTube thing, like, and also on Twitter, being like, we didn't stick up for her or anything. But I really want to say this is like, this show is not, it's Dancing with the Stars. It's not Ballroom Dancing with the Stars. It's not that. Even though it has been that for so many seasons, it's changing. And I think that people like Whitney and people like Derek have really shaped that show into something else. And I think that's why they have allowed contemporary and jazz and Bollywood and Broadway and all that stuff. And I really hope that Allison gets another shot, because I think that she is super special, and she's someone that is changing dance to a better and more exciting place. And I think that she deserves a shot on this show.
Yeah, she and Twitch are like the ambassadors of dance. I always say that. I mean, they're really goodwill ambassadors. It's kind of amazing. I mean, for you've been choreographing a lot of the opening numbers. Yeah. For you, you're also not, we talked a little bit about this, and So You Think You Can Dance, but for people that didn't watch that show, differences between choreographing Dancing with the Stars and So You Think?
Yeah, you know, the biggest difference is obviously that I'm not trained in ballroom. Like, I've taken classes and I've done some stuff, but for me on this show, I take more of a role of directing the movement, you know, and I have to, I mean, I'll tell them, okay, do 4 of those, like, swivelly hip things that you do over there. I don't know the names of them.
Do a samba roll.
And then, you know, I need you to face this way, and I need something that goes like spin in, spin out, and then I need you to go like that, and then you're going to come towards camera, you know, so for me, it's a very different process, because So You Think I do every single move myself, you know, like, I know exactly what it feels like because I've done it all. So on Dancing with the Stars, it's more about, and obviously more about cameras and things as well. You know, I work really closely with the director, and we put together the structure of the number, and then we decide, okay, these people are going to be here and they're going to be facing like this, and you know, it's 2 8s of movement, and I need somebody to walk towards this, so it's a lot more almost directing movement, you know. And I love ballroom dancers. They are so different than contemporary and jazz dancers, you know.
How are they different?
They're so sassy. That's why I love them, because you know, and we had actually a huge conversation, the pros and I, I guess it was last season, because I was like, why can you guys not be clean? Because for me, contemporary dancers and jazz dancers, when you say put your arm out on 5, that's what you do. Like, you just put your arm out on 5, and like, you might mess it up once or twice. But I would say stuff to them. I'd be like, guys, I said your arm is not here. It's there, you know, and there's like 42 different versions of it. You know, and they were talking about how they train their entire lives to not look like the person next to them. So it's actually completely counterintuitive to how they do it. And I'm like, that's awesome. Sweet. Now I know. I understand. But camera doesn't understand that. Camera, when it's a big wide shot and you see 14 people doing the same thing, you go, wow, that looks amazing. But if you see 14 people doing something different, you're like, oh, that's a mess, you know? So
you do, and you start in the group numbers. You start like, oh, this is always the fast dancer. This is the one that's slower on the counts. Like you start picking it. Your eye starts picking it up, and probably as a choreographer, they would drive me nuts. I'd be like,
well, they're all so different, and that's what makes the show beautiful. Is that they are very unique in who they are, and they all bring something different to the table. So it's a challenge sometimes to put together a number that you feel like, okay, did I put this person in front too much this time? Or the amount of tweets I get about, like, can you please put this person together and the buzz person? I'm like, people, they weren't even at rehearsal, so they can't be together on that part. You know, but crafting that number is a challenge. It's very different than So You Think. You know, it's like, in So You Think you get 2 days to do a group number and you have 8 hours and you have all of them right there. Dancing with Stars isn't that way. It's a much shorter time. You may have some of them. If somebody went home, they're not there. They're in New York doing the thing. And then, oh, that person has rehearsal. They can't be here. You know, so it's a very different process.
Are you still choreographing? Like, I heard it was like Tuesday morning, so everyone's like super tired. And
yeah, they hate me on Tuesday morning. No, they don't hate me. We've learned to love each other. But yeah, Tuesday morning, 9 a.m., it happens. Miss Mandy comes up. They're so funny. They walk in and I'm like applauding them. Woo, you guys rock. You know, and they're all like half asleep.
That's awesome. I can't remember who told me that, but I was like, that's amazing that they do that to them. Like, enjoyed the show last night, come to rehearsal in the morning.
Oh,
we'll
yeah.
see ya.
They're like sleeping.
Sleepwalking through it. Do you have a favorite number this season that you choreographed?
That's a good one. I loved the Jessie J performance. I felt like that was a nice mixture of commercial meets the show. And wait, lies. Siri. It is Boss, the girls' number. That was my favorite one this year.
Yes.
Because I feel like those girls were ready for that number, and it ended up being amazing. And I railed those girls over and over and over and cleaned them and got them together. And when they finally did it, it was like they all finished that was really amazing, right? And I'm like, yes, it was actually amazing. You guys look so good. So
that's a good Emmy
really
submission.
good.
I'm just throwing it out there.
Thank you.
Yeah, just throwing it out there.
I love that number.
2 other new pros, Keo. We talked a little bit about him outside the studio, but what do you think of Keo? Because we had him in here. We loved him.
He's a sweet, sweet kid, and I think that he is going to have a really nice journey on the show. I think he got thrown in, got a partner, and didn't quite know what was going down. So he's learning, though. Like, every week he comes back. I mean, even doing the group numbers with him right in the beginning, he didn't understand. Like, when I say, put your arm out here, I mean it. And you look at that camera, like, that's what we're doing. So he's learned a lot, too. Now he's, like, figuring it out. And then the little bumpers, I feel like he gets real sassy with the girls and, like, does it. I mean, he's the sweetest guy ever, by the way, and an amazing dancer.
And Artem, well, he was in troupe, but
I love him. Good guy.
Nice chest. There was no budget.
Nice
This was the joke. This was the joke all season. There's no budget in the show for a shirt for Artem.
I'm like, sorry, we just couldn't do it.
When you have a chest like that.
We just couldn't do it.
Yeah, he's great too. He helps me out a lot with Jenna. I mean, they all do on different, depending on what the number is. I'll bring in Tony, or I'll bring in Val, or bring in Derek, or Mark, or blah, blah, Sharna, Peta. But Artem and Jenna usually help me out a lot, which is really great because I love them.
I love that. So after the season's over, what do you have coming up?
Well,
So You Think You Can Dance season 12?
Yes, I am So You Think You Can Dance.
And we need to talk about that too a little bit.
All right. We got renewed. Yeah, so just that, and I've got a little project that's kind of cool. I'm doing a film next, like starting in March. That's going to be a big film, so I'm excited to do that.
Feature film?
Awesome.
So,
Feature film.
Sweet.
so exciting.
I'll tell you more about it maybe next time I see you, but yes, that's going down. So.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah,
All
I'm
right.
excited.
I know. I love it. Well, thank you so much for coming here again. And I know you're here for So You Think So. Dancing with the Stars fans certainly appreciate it. Tell everyone where they can find you online, because you are not that Mandy Moore.
Yes, my Twitter is @NopeNotHer, because I'm not Mandy Moore the singer. So Instagram and Twitter is Nope Not Her.
That's genius.
It's Nope. It's not Nop Nother. Some people think it's Nop Nother. No, Nope Not Her.
At Suri Serano, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
on Twitter at Jake_Dupree and on Instagram at Jake Dupree.
And I'm at Kristyn Burtt on Twitter and the Kristyn Burtt on Facebook and Instagram. Next week, you guys, remember, we're on Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific time because it's a 2-night show for Dancing with the Stars, so we're going to be on one night later. Our guests will be announced, so stay tuned to our Twitter feed to find out who it is. We'll see you all next week, Dancing with the Stars on AfterBuzz TV.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.